Hello, welcome back everyone to this channel. Here is a great film that you must see. Played very well by Luis Alberti, Noé Hernández, Leonardo Alonso, Luis Curiel. An elite military unit fighting against a narcoboy cartel in Mexico. This film features intense scenes centered around a military operation that ends in a brutal battle. Released in February 2025, the film received a rating of 6 out of 10 stars on IMDb. So yes, car friends, prepare yourself as best as possible and don't forget to bring snacks so you don't go hungry. And here is the storyline of the movie Counter-Strike. Opening scene. 5 men are seen driving toward the Mexico-US border. During the ride, they argue about where to stop and eat. Each of them has a different choice, but suddenly, the scene flashes back to 72 hours earlier. We're introduced to a woman named Carla and her mother, Lucía. They are seen driving to work, but on the way, Carla asks to stop because she feels like vomiting. After she throws up, they're shocked to discover human body parts buried nearby.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué viste?
Next scene. At a bar, we meet a man named Guerrero. While chatting, he suddenly steps out after hearing a commotion on the street. It turns out Carla and her mother are about to be kidnapped by armed men. Guerrero tries to intervene, but is stopped by his companion. Get inside, don't let them see you. They're dangerous. The LGTB cartel. The man in the hat is named Román. He's the brother of the most notorious and brutal cartel leader, Josefo Urías. But Guerrero doesn't care. He approaches them anyway. Police then arrive and ask Guerrero to let Román go. Put down your weapon and release him. Guerrero throws his badge at the police officers. He says he's a member of the Mexican armed forces. Seeing his ID, the officers are stunned. It turns out Guerrero isn't just from any military unit. He's part of murcielagos, Mexico's elite special forces. He holds the rank of first captain. After that, Lucía tells Guerrero they found a mass grave in the rice fields. That's why Román and his men were chasing and trying to kidnap them. After receiving the report from the 2 women, the Mexican military heads straight to the crime scene. Following that, the head of the Mexican armed forces meets with the Minister of Defense. No way I'm letting my fallen soldiers become just another bloody statistic. Not long after, Captain Guerrero walked into the room to meet his superiors. The defense minister said, "Good to meet you, mate." The minister then excused himself and left the room. Cut to the next scene. We're introduced to Josefo Urías, cartel boss and brother to Román. He's watching a news report about a mass grave found in a rice field. The victims, Mexican soldiers, tortured before being executed. The Defense Department revealed that the victims had gone missing during a mission. A mission to capture none other than cartel kingpin, Josefo Urías. Román then arrives. You've stirred up a real mess. How the hell did this all come out? It was those 2 women. They reported everything to the military, Joseph said. The defense ministers told me about that soldier. Cut to the next scene. Román's men kidnap Carla and her mother. They've been called in for a mission to capture a key figure in Urías' organization. The target, Eduardo Medina Gutierrez. Joseph is the prime suspect in the mass execution of Mexican soldiers. Capturing Eduardo could provide the testimony needed to take Joseph down. The plan: catch Eduardo at his beachfront restaurant. 3 teams, undercover, snipers, and a tactical assault unit. After the briefing, they head out. They successfully capture the target. The operation goes smoothly, and Guerrero receives praise from his superiors. He's told to stay on standby with his team. The hunt for Joseph isn't over yet. With pleasure, we won't stop until Joseph Urías is brought to justice. Meanwhile, we meet Guerrero's team: Pollo, Tanque, Combo, and Toro. Moving on to the next scene, Captain Guerra is seen transferring gang members from a military vehicle to a white car, then gathering with his members.
Pero afortunadamente fue la única baja. Capitán.
They're given a short break to enjoy the weekend together. In the next scene, the defense minister meets with Joseph Urías. From a distance, Román secretly records the exchange. Turns out, the minister might be corrupt. As a gift, he hands Joseph a phone. But it's not just any phone. This one is set up to tap Guerrero's mobile. After the minister leaves, Román approaches Joseph. He's told that Guerrero and his team have captured Eduardo. So, Joseph gives the order: kill Guerrero, and kill his whole team. I'm giving you the chance to avenge our father's death, Joseph tells him. Next scene, back at base, the team's packing up and getting ready for their weekend off. Not long after, Guerrero arrives to pick him up. They snap a group photo, capturing the moment. Then, they head out. Just a few minutes into their journey, their car was hit by another car. After winning the battle with Román's men, Team Guerrero finally engaged Román's gang in combat. The war did not last long for Captain Guerrero's highly trained team. Team Guerrero emerged victorious, marking Román's defeat. Even so, Román still managed to throw a grenade at Guerrero. He was in critical condition when he contacted Josef, informing him that he and his unit had been wiped out. As they approached, Román said, "You're all going to die." Then, he died. Guerrero picked up Román's phone and discovered that their location had been compromised. "Looks like there's a traitor in our ranks," Guerrero said. They moved into the jungle as Guerrero contacted his mate back at HQ. He explained what had just happened and informed them that they were making their way to the outpost. In the next scene, Josef and his men arrived at the scene. Naturally, he found the bodies of his fallen comrades. He then approached Román and hugged him. "I love you, Colonel," he said. José was very emotional as he watched his younger brother die. Using the phone given to him by the defense minister, he instructed his man, Cobra, to track, hunt down, and capture Guerrero and his team. Back in the jungle, after trekking for some time, the team paused for a short rest. Soon after, they spotted enemy movement through the weapon scope. Without hesitation, Pollo fired a shot. And finally, armed conflict was inevitable between Captain Guerrero's team and Josef's gang. And finally, Pollo was shot in his left arm, causing him to fall. He took down the enemy, and Guerrero ordered treatment for the wounded. Meanwhile, Cobra reported back to Josef, confirming all their men had been taken out. But the targets weren't far. He handed over the tracking phone to Josef. He then told everyone to hand over their phones. They immediately moved to pursue the team. But when they arrived, they only found their own dead men. Now, with Guerrero and his team's phones left behind, tracking them was no longer possible.
puta madre.
Finally, they're getting closer to us. Back with the team, despite their injuries, they pressed on toward the outpost. At the same time, Josef and his men continued the pursuit. Later, during another rest, Guerrero opened Ramon's phone and uncovered a video showing a transaction between the defense minister and Josef. "We're in danger. The minister betrayed us," he said. Without wasting time, they resumed their journey. After a long trek, they halted again. Just ahead, they spotted a house. Using the scope, they saw two armed men. Meanwhile, Cobra finally found traces of Polo's blood. Next, Guerrero crept towards the house, and then, shots were heard from far away coming from Polo, who was trying to save Guerrero from the enemies coming out of the house. Guys, that house was where Carla and her mother had been held captive. Even though they were now safe, it was clear they were still traumatized and terrified. Combo, who was checking on them, said, "You're safe now. You're going to be all right." Inside the house, they also found what they had been looking for, enough weapons and ammunition to use.
Miren lo que encontramos. Cosas como estas. Mismo es que
Josef and his men will definitely come after us. We need to get ready to fight them, said Guerrero. Carla and her mother, who had just come out of the room, were informed that they were now being hunted by Josef and his men. Because of that, they had to continue their journey to the outpost, where reinforcements were waiting. For safety, Carla and her mother were given bulletproof vests. Then Guerrero said, "We'll move in formation. Carla and her mum will be in the center, and we'll protect them from all sides." However, Carla was shot, but luckily it hit her vest. Polo was shot in the leg. "There's heaps of them," said Tanke. "I don't know how long we can hold out." Carla and her mum kept taking cover while Toro treated Polo's gunshot wound. "They're pushing in and we're outnumbered," said Toro. "What matters is that we believe we can fight them. That's what we've been trained for," Polo replied. Not wanting to just sit by, Lucía and Carla also grabbed weapons. Guerrero taught them how to use them.
Ya está lista.
Combo told Tanke to take position while he went to check and treat Polo's injury. Meanwhile outside, Josef ordered Cobra to take his men and enter through the back door. They set up a heavy M2 machine gun.
Ayúdenme. ¡Rápido!
Of course, when the group saw that, they immediately took cover. Die, all of you. Josef then commanded his men to create a diversion at the front so Cobra and the others could sneak in from the rear. One of the guerrilla members was shot as a result of relentless attacks from both sides. Finally, Jose's machine gun stopped firing and he was shot. And Tanke was finally injured while the Cobra was heading towards him. But not long after, Cobra appeared and opened fire on Tanke. Tanke shot back. Then, Tanke threw a grenade and blew them all up. When the others arrived at the scene, they found Tanke had been killed. Outside, only Josef was left standing. They approached Josef, but Polo was shot by him and killed. Under heavy fire, Josef finally surrendered. He lowered his gun and said, "We have dignity." Combo raised his weapon to shoot Josef, but Guerrero stopped him. "Try to stay alive," said Guerrero, inviting him to a close-quarters duel. And a one-on-one duel ensued. However, Captain Guerrero, who had been trained as a member of the Mexican Special Forces, won decisively. And he said not to mess with the military special forces. The next morning, help finally arrived, and that's where the film wraps up. That's all for this episode of Movie Recaps. Don't forget to support the channel by hitting the subscribe button. Chuck us a like, share it around, and leave a comment if you enjoyed the video. Catch you in the next one. Cheers. Dank Sean. Yeska friends.